For the record, as the general manager responsible for employee benefits, I request the following from you. The total remuneration package of the Group CEO of PRASA Group as approved by the Board of Control. It goes further to say your email below does not indicate, because it indicates all those things. For clarity, that should include rent amount and the various allowances. Then it says, I also inquired about the car and driver, which I'm informed by security colleagues is for the use of the Group CEO. How is it accounted for in the package? Can you also calculate the package of the base only on yearly inflationary increases, excluding the BOC approved increases based on the counter offer to the previous GCEO? I'm saying this because when we had discussions, it was clear at the time that there was allegations that the counter offer that was given to the then CEO had been claimed to be fraudulent. They claimed that at the time that the then CEO went to the board and asked for an increase based on what they termed fraudulent counter offer. That did not exist. And I then asked that that gets stripped out of the package that I get. Now, here was the response to this. It says, Dear Collins, the current total cost to company of the Group CEO as approved by the board is now at 5,903,999 per annum. See attached payslip and letter is the payslip and the letter. And it says, if the original package was to be increased with yearly approved inflationary increases, meaning excluding what is termed fraudulent increases, the Group CEO's package would now sit at 5,986,140.07. Then it is then put how it's calculated from 2013. And then it goes further to say the remuneration package can be structured to include the following. Medical aid, this is compulsory unless you have one in your name or registered under your spouse one. To join PRASA Provident Fund, this is not compulsory for non-permanent staff. Car allowance, provision for this comes from your remuneration package. South African funeral benefit, which is compulsory, an amount of 57 rand is deducted from the package and it covers the main member spouse, but you can understand. So the above mentioned benefits will therefore be deducted from the package depending on your selected option. Depending on your selected option. I am given the salary amount I'm going to get, I am given the benefits I'm entitled to, and then I'm even allowed to exercise options. Furthermore, it says benefits outside the remuneration package. And I want you to listen carefully here because apparently I was insisting on, what do they call it? Limitless. It was a limitless cell phone package. Now anyone knows how much that. I mean, if it's more than 2,000, you are paying a lot. I've had my limitless package since 2013. I still use that limitless package. I paid. It's under my name. But let me read it further so you can understand. It says, the group life subject to you becoming a member of Provident Fund in line with the rules of the fund. It pays 4 times your annual pensionable salary in such case of death. And extra cover can be purchased up to 6 times the cost at your own cost. As articulated below, you may also qualify for performance bonus subject to your signing a performance agreement and or contract with the board, and also subject the company having achieved its set targets and objectives. Then it says a 24-hour accidental death cover of 200,000 managed by our insurance department, covering all executives. Here is what is puzzling. Sunday Times has this, but they continue to print the story. It says a company cellular phone on an unlimited package. In brackets it says open line. Shocking, isn't it? I mean, I went to ask for it. Now, you could have read from my email that I didn't ask. I said, what is applicable in line with the letter that I was given? Then it says, lastly, HCM does not make a call on the Chevy-driven cars. Should you wish to make use of this benefit? Now, how do you make use of a benefit that does not exist? It would be subject to fringe benefit tax as prescribed South African Revenue Services. A decision must be taken on who will be liable for this fringe benefit tax. I offer to pay that fringe benefit tax myself. By the way, my 2 predecessors, so far as I know, have used the very same car. I didn't buy a new car or anything. It was a car that I was told by security personnel at the time that is dedicated to the CEO, which is why I ask, is it part of the package? Is it outside the package? Now, very clearly, I'm told that it's outside the package. But let's go further. Let's go further. For some reason, because I had already realized certain things, I demanded a confirmation of my package, which I'll also distribute. I was not paid until November. After all things were done, before any other thing, I said, can I get that confirmation? On a PRASA letterhead, confirming this package we are talking about, from the general manager responsible for remunerations and benefits. The letter reads as follows. It is 26th of October 2016. It says, to whom it may concern, and it says, confirmation of remuneration package of a Group CEO of PRASA, is that this letter serves as confirmation that the current annual remuneration package, remember what I was supposed to get? An annualized salary at the level of a CEO, Group CEO. This letter serves as confirmation that the current annual remuneration package, in line with the letter, of PRASA Group Chief Executive Officer is 5,986,140 rands and 7 cents. Signed, therefore, it says, should you require any additional information, please don't hesitate to contact the undersigned. And the general manager signs and also puts the number. Now, I think I must also address the issue of, as a matter of fact, Mr. Begani Khumalo works for PRASA and is not dismissed. This story that is dismissed, I don't even know where it's coming from. Mr. Begani Khumalo used to be the acting group executive responsible for human capital in PRASA, a position that he held for 11 months. I took a decision to to take him back to the position that he occupies, his substantive position in PRASA. The acting policy of PRASA talks about 6 months acting period. But of course, there are other issues that will raise at the right time. I don't think it's about him. I think I just wanted to confirm that the man is not dismissed at all. He is in PRASA. I don't know why Sunday Times will say the man is dismissed. Now I hear that the articles that are going to come talk about my colleagues that I brought with from the DOT that were seconded to them. I also hear that the other one will talk about the increase of one of the group executives. And I'll wait for that and I'll answer for it. I repeat what I say. No amount of subterfuge of people masquerading around as people that are having the good interest of PRASA and yet they don't. The rationale for the minister for me to be brought to PRASA is clearly articulated in the statement of the minister of why I came to PRASA. And I continue to do that work. I will fight this corruption in PRASA. I'll fight this nepotism in PRASA. We have got very good, hard-working men and women in PRASA. I don't want them to despair. I want to say to my colleagues, more is coming, but we must never deviate from the course. Dogs never bark at stationary cars. We have just concluded our turnaround plan. We have just finished our corporate plan that we presented to the shareholder on Saturday. We continue. No amount of media attacks that seek to distort the truth will do that. I want to add, we had a discussion with the editor of Sunday Times. The editor of Sunday Times, we were complaining about the behavior of this journalist. He ended up agreeing that there is nowhere where it is an indication I have increased my own salary. He then undertook on Saturday to send us more questions, different questions. We waited for 4 hours and those were not forthcoming. And when we inquired, he said no, their understanding was that they will just proceed with the answers we gave them. All these documents that are going to be distributed were given to them. They've ignored them. They have ignored what the DOT, who's my employer, have told them. They ignore it. They take certain to fit a story. Now, I have been seconded before to the RTMC, and the very same methodology was used. Save the letter. The methodology of saying you are going to the position, you are seconded. The difference between the salary you must get there and your internal salary here in DOT is calculated in terms of what is called secondment allowance. It does not happen to only me. In the DOT, my colleagues have headed, for instance, the road agency of Limpopo. Others have gone to other places, and it was calculated the same way. One day, when I'm at liberty to talk, I will tell you what the real truth is about this matter. For now, I think it suffices to say the facts speak for themselves. You guys be the judge. Be the judge of this. You are journalists. You have received facts. You ignore the facts. You go with rumors that can't be substantiated by anything. I will respond. I have got the agreement. It's called the agreement. I have the agreement, and when they say entire agreement, is the entire agreement I have with PRASA, and I'll exercise those options should the needs arise. For now, I'm just saying to you, it's important. The most important paragraph still remains paragraph 3 in page 2, very clearly. Very important that we apply our minds to what is happening. So I think also this attack on the minister is unwarranted. People must seek to report what is truthful and not create issues that really don't exist. Lastly, let me thank those who have been my support, my family, specifically my wife and my kids. I say to them, I continue to be the man you know, and I will never disappoint you on matters of governance. I would never seek to get what I'm not entitled to. I'll continue to work for the state. I've worked at times for free, simply because I believe that's the right thing to do for ordinary South Africans to get the best value out of this government of ours. I remain a proud, uncorruptible public servant. No amount of front page attacks are going to worry me much. So there is just, it's sad that you are just painted. I hear I'm not a Facebook person, Twitter person. I hear that I was trending. And I don't know whether people understand that they were trading based on lies. Interesting. But I remain strong. I soldier on. One thing I can show you is at PRASA, today is a better day than yesterday. And I'm quite sure that tomorrow will be a better day than today. We are getting there. We are rooting out corruption, and we are delivering. What time is it? You can go to the Mamelodi line now and see the trains that we have. That fit, by the way. Not brought by Collins Letsoalo, brought by the men and women that work hard every day in PRASA. I found those trains there. So we will work very hard with my colleagues that are interested in working to continue to make PRASA a better place. Lastly, as I keep on saying, I am sure I'm going to leave PRASA a better place than I found it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Collins. I will now allow media to ask Collins questions, and then we will take it from there. Please introduce yourself, the media house that you represent, and then ask your question. Any questions? One, two. You can go.
Hi, good morning to you, sir. It's Kylie Shekumada here from UCA. Mr. Acting Group CEO, you're talking about, I mean, it sounds like a very concerted campaign just to taint your reputation. Are you at a position perhaps just to disclose as to who might be behind such a concerted campaign just to destroy you? Thank you.
My name is Kelvin Long from AN7. Will you be taking any stern measures against the publication that has issued this article? And yes, adding to my colleague's question, why do you think they're particularly attacking you? Thank you. Just covered mine. You covered. Oh, thank you.
Yes, I know these people. I know who they are. One of these good days, I'll bring the evidence and show you what they do to seek to undermine me and undermine the work I do at PRASA. I've collated enough evidence to know who they are and what they're up to. But we must never be naive. You must understand the interests at PRASA. You must understand that if you have an organization that has got about 13.9 billion irregular expenditure, what would happen if you try to change that? People were relaxed doing their own things, and of course, when I am a student of system analysis, when you are trying to uproot a system, there is a thing called system resistance. The other system is resisting. So is this system, it's not particularly, is this system that we are fighting and will continue to fight? When I accepted this responsibility, I had no illusions that it's going to be simple. So, yes, indeed. On the matter of taking any steps, I want to see which angle I'll get legal opinion, whether I must go to press ombudsman or I must go for a defamatory suit. I'll decide once I've consulted my lawyers on how I proceed. If I go to the press ombudsman, I would ask that Sunday Times must print in bold letters. As they said, Mr. Fix-It pays himself. I want them to, front page as well, say, Sunday Times gets it wrong. I'm going to ask for that because I don't want it to be some small apology in page 4 of an article. I think it's unfair. There are a lot of people like myself who get attacked for doing the right things. And it's difficult, it's a very lonely journey. Trying to do the right thing, sometimes a very lonely journey. But if that's the cost of clean governance, so be it. If we say, why me, why not you? So if I think every day I also read documents about other people who are lied about, and I read these publications and say, hey, well, my day has come yesterday. It used to happen when I was at the RTMC. I had more days in the media, but I soldier on. And I'm encouraging all those that are also under attack for whatever reason. The truth will never change. Facts can change. The truth never change. You see, the fact that I'm sitting in front of you today is the truth. You can't change that. So I understand, and I know a barrage is coming, an assault. I'm ready for it. For as long as I'm at PRASA, I would never tolerate any form of corruption. No matter how much people try to hit me, I'll continue on the same path I've had throughout my career.
Any more questions?
Good morning, Mr. Letsoalo. It's Anton Meyer from Pretoria FM. The article also states that, I'm not sure if you read that letter, that the minister, Mr. Deputy, sent to you about your secondment to PRASA, which states that your rank, salary, and seniority date remains unchanged. Have you spoken to the minister about this whole issue around your salary? Do you maybe have that letter? Can you give us that letter from the minister which says that your salary will remain unchanged? Is there a difference between PRASA and the Department of Transport?
Yes, there is. Let's understand how secondment works. When you are seconded, in terms of public service regulations, on the other side, where I am substantively employed, my benefits remain the same. I'll show you how it's done. Now, usually as the public sector employees, we get paid on the 15th. Okay? You get paid on the 15th, your salary. The difference between what you are paid at the agency and what you are paid at the department is calculated and is what is called secondment allowance in terms of the public service regulations. So it happens that way. So when I go back, and you must hear me carefully, when I go back, I don't say if I go back to my position, I will still earn the very same salary in the way it is. That's what it means.
Follow up?
I'm still confused.
Yes, let's
So
see.
they are saying you received 1.3 million at the Department or at RTMC, Department of Transport.
Department of Transport, not RTMC.
Department of Transport.
Yes.
And you moved to PRASA.
Yes.
The minister said your salary remains unchanged,
Yes.
which means you will still earn 1.3 million at PRASA. Or am I understanding?
No, it didn't say at PRASA. It says my salary remains unchanged. It doesn't say at PRASA.
Okay.
Now, I go to PRASA. Remember, firstly, when I'm at PRASA, the agreement, I sign an agreement. Now it tells you, coming from the chairperson of the board, telling me the conditions under which I'm seconded. As detailed in paragraph 1, it says that. Paragraph 3 is very clear, because it will have said you will then get the money that you used to get there. Now, let's also apply logic. I leave, DOT gets seconded as a group CEO. 17,000 employees. I've got how many? 5 CEOs reporting to me. You want to say, because this is the argument, you want to say I must still be paid that very money. Let me tell you what would have happened if they set me that letter in the agreement, I would have said, no, thank you very much. I would have circled, not accepted. I would have circled it. Because there's no way I'm going to do so much work for nothing. And that's why I'm saying I will get what is entitled to me. Okay? What I'm entitled to, I will get. And I did not calculate it myself, by the way. It's very clear it's calculated by a competent person. And I wanted it confirmed before I got paid. 4 months down the line. If my interest was money, I would have left, because in terms of the agreement, I was supposed to be paid on the 27th of July. 4 months without getting what was in the agreement. So I remain committed. And I'll tell you, clean governance is what I strive for all the time. If I thought that this was wrong, I would have admitted. There is no problem. I would have paid PRASA what is due to them. I would have. There's no problem. And I'm going to tell you, because that's another one that we were in London, and we received, when this thing started, we received an inquiry about my car. Letsoalo has bought this brand of a vehicle. Whose business is it? What I do with my money? Once it gets into my bank account, what I do with it is none of anyone's business. I think it's unfair to want to ask me about my personal life. It's unfair. So I refuse to answer those questions. I said, no, I don't. Much as I don't go to the media and report about every time I buy something, I don't expect to be quizzed about what I've bought, when, under what guise. It's unfair. Because I can't come to you and say, hey, now you receive the salary, what do you do with it? It's unfair. So I'll be moving in that direction. If needs be, I'll call you again, ladies and gentlemen, and I think there will be a need at some point. I'll call you again and deal with these matters so that I provide clarity. I refused yesterday to give one-on-one because people distort what you say. It's like these guys that we gave documents and they just write what they want to write. It's better if it's on TV. South Africans would also apply their minds. And it's better if it's all of you, because then there is no particular narrative that seems to be driven.
There's another question. Can we do a last round of questions? Then we conclude. Thank you. Kaya?
Mr. Letsoalo, just a clarity again. I mean, for some time, the state-owned enterprises have been, just been in the spotlight for the wrong reasons. And obviously, in light of what has come out, don't you think also that such perceptions tend to, perpetuate, as it were, with, the so-called hub that you got? So don't you think there's a breakdown in terms of governance, and obviously, like you say, that you strive for fighting corruption, but such a case, don't you think that it sort of defeats the purpose around that? Thank you.
Well, this is my personal view. This tendency to attribute corruption to public sector is a narrative I don't share. I think it's wrong. And I think I was saying to my uncle this morning, don't always believe what you read. Because it's not driven by anything but a narrative that seems to suggest the state that is so corrupt, nothing happens there. And that this particular administration is inherently corrupt. I think it's an unfortunate narrative that our people must be able to read. Now, a ridiculous headline, someone increasing his salary by 350%. I mean, that's ridiculous in the first place. I mean, who does that? Someone is suggesting that there are no controls. We don't know how we deal with matters. You just arrive there's nothing, you write your own check. It's not true. So I'm saying it tends to be over-exaggerated. Not that corruption doesn't happen. It does. Equally, there are a lot of people that fight it. There are whistleblowers on a daily basis. And most of these whistleblowers are people that are in the state. How do you know about it if it's not the same people? So, I don't think the state is in that space. Some, like our entity, are in trouble. But I don't think the task is insurmountable. We are clear about that. But you'll also know that there's things called fake news. No? There's fake news all over. And I think people have taken a posture on those. But I'm not worried, because I know there are hardworking men and women that do their work, puts in a day's work, continue, put an extra mile there and here. And I really don't think that people must despair and throw their hands in the air and say SOEs are this, if the state. I'll give you a classical example. People that have done driver's license now, they don't know that, by the way, they are now produced by the state at half the cost